Sony's first Pro controller, DualSense Edge, has finally arrived. Having a hefty price tag of $200 on it, only one question arises in mind. Is it worth the purchase? Well, let's find out. So, the DualSense Edge, just like the DualSense controller, comes with all the primary keys just like the basic controller does. They feature the option button, the create button, the D-pad or the directional buttons, the left and the right thumbsticks, the two new function buttons that are a new addition to the DualSense Edge controller, a 3.5mm headset jack, a mute button, the 4 action keys which include the square button, the triangle button, the circle and the X button. Now, if you take a closer look, you will see that the touchpad now has a small light on it and comes engraved with the PS Action logos. Coming to the back of the controller, it has got the trusty R1, L1 and 2 trigger buttons. The two new major additions and my favorite part of the controller are the RB and LB buttons. Also, let's keep aside the release button for now as we'll discuss it later in the video. Lastly, we have the game changers, the L2 and R2 stop sliders that help in reducing the trigger distance. The DualSense Edge comes with a beautiful white carrying case that looks and feels premium right off the bat. It consists of a flap on the back which can be used to charge the controller from the case in order to provide protection to your premiumly priced controller. It also features a PlayStation logo on the top that shows off the branding pretty well and has got a zip system for opening the hard-shelled case carrying all your pro equipment. So the box comes with a huge USB braided cable that is not only very lengthy but also very sturdy. Next, we have the two new additional lever back buttons that act as the LB and RB as per the key mapping. It can be a bit difficult to put in place sometimes, that's what she said. Anyways, but it gets easier with time once you memorize exactly where the buttons go. Like you can see in the video, I'm struggling to put the buttons in place since I am yet to get accustomed to it. A great alternative to the lever back buttons is the half dome back button. Fortunately, this works great for me and is comparatively easier to put in place. The compact size of the half dome buttons work very well and feel great when using. This time around, Sony has provided us with a connector housing that acts as a lock when connecting your USB Type-C charger to the DualSense Edge controller. It's nothing much, but it's a pretty good precaution to prevent your charger from getting disconnected. The Pro controller set also comes with two sets of extra stick caps as per your need. Here I have got the low dome cap connected since it just works better for me. You can replace with whichever feels and works the best for you. They are easily replaceable and even work with two totally different caps for better usability and control. The release button on the back of the controller serves a special purpose as it unlocks the glossy hatch in the front, thus exposing the two thumbsticks. Now, if you lift up the two metal levers on both sides, you can slide out the thumbsticks out of place. You can again put the metal levers back in place and just slide the hatch back on the top. Coming to the most pro aspect of the controller, the stop sliders have 3 stages, the long, medium and the short stroke. These sliders serve the purpose of reducing the trigger length. Having a shorter trigger length can be just the deciding factor in a competitive shooter game. One of the most annoying points about having the case would be the pain of putting everything back in place, and Sony certainly did make this process a bit difficult. Well, at least for me, if I'm not just bad at handling it. The back buttons can be very difficult to put back in place and take a lot of pushing into the right shape at the right direction. While it's not something very big, it's definitely something to look out for. The DualSense Edge wireless controller works great for me in many ways, be it its in-hand feel, better battery life, additional buttons or the stop sliders. choice of thumb caps, and option to replace the thumbstick modules. Although the controller does seem a tad bit pricier when compared to its rival Xbox Elite Series 2 that is $20 cheaper, the DualSense Edge does provide better accessibility and handling to make up for the price. So, is it worth an upgrade or purchase? If you do have a brand new or spare DualSense controller, just wait out a bit. If you don't, what's stopping you from getting one? DualSense Edge works best for competitive players who can set various button profiles for their controller and use them as per their need and as per the title they are playing. I've definitely enjoyed playing some Fortnite, Warzone, and a bit of Hogwarts Legacy with the DualSense Edge and wouldn't go back to using the older and more basic controller solely for its better grip and in-hand feel.